أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear student, today is our second lecture on powder X-ray diffraction. Student, today we will discuss in powder X-ray diffraction Bragg law, derivation of Bragg equation, crystal planes, basic of X-rays, mean X-ray generation, white radiation, characteristic radiation, what are the spectral line shape, spectral intensity, K-shell knockout and emission of light photon. And now, what is Bragg law? It is impossible to discuss order diffraction much further without Bragg law. While its derivation will be considered in more detail later, we need at least a basic understanding even at this stage. Although Low is credited with the discovery of diffraction, it fell to W. H. Bragg to devise an equation which predicted when diffraction could actually take place. This equation became known as Bragg law and must be one of the most well-known equations in science. Mean n lambda is equal to 2d sine theta, where lambda is the wavelength of the radiation used, d is the interplanar spacing involved, and theta is the angle between the incident or diffracted ray and the relevant crystal planes. N is an integer referred to as the order of diffraction and is often unity. These ideas are far from obvious for a newcomer to diffraction. An idea of its application may be gleaned from the following diagram depicting schematically X-ray diffraction from part of a single crystal. These are the incoming rays and these are the atoms in a crystal. This is the theta. This is the interplanar spacing d, and this is the theta of diffracted rays. Here, constructive interference occur. The basic idea behind Bragg law is that when it is satisfied, X-ray beams scattered from successive planes in the crystal will travel distances differing by exactly one wavelength. For the case of n is equal to 1, this can be fairly easily proved from a geometrical consideration of the above diagram. In this precise direction, that is, at the angle theta calculated by the Bragg law, X-rays scattered from successive planes will interact constructively when they eventually reach the X-ray detector, thus registering the passage of an intense beam, which we call the diffracted beam. Of course, it is not really the planes in the crystal that scatter the X-rays, since planes are abstract mathematical atoms, but rather the atoms with their electronic clouds. However, this idea developed by Bragg of relating atoms to plane proved to be a great simplification in the subject, and for this reason we still refer to individual diffracted beams as being reflected from certain planes, even though we know it is the atoms that actually perform the scattering. At this point, we do not need to understand the concept of planes in any greater depth than this, but for those who feel they would like to know a little more, we will discuss it on the next slide. One of the concluding ideas from Bragg law is that diffraction is in effect an arranged event. Three parameters need to be harmonized, that is, the wavelength of the X-rays, lambda, the crystal orientation as defined by the angle theta, as shown in the above diagram, and the spacing d of the crystal planes under consideration. For a given wavelength and set of planes, one can conspire to arrange for diffraction to occur by, for example, continuously changing the orientation, mean changing theta, until a point arrives where Bragg law is satisfied. This is precisely when diffraction occurs. Derivation of Bragg's law or Bragg equation. When a beam of X-rays falls on a crystal plane composed of regularly arranged atoms or ions, the X-rays are diffracted. If the waves are in phase after reflection, the difference in distance traveled by the two rays, that is path difference, must be equal to an integral number of wavelength, mean n lambda, for constructive, as shown in the following diagram. Here these are the rows of atoms in a crystal. ये आपके पास एक्सरेज आ रही हैं, ये यहाँ पे फॉल हुई, ये यहाँ पे एटम है, ये इसके ऊपर फॉल होगी तो ये यहाँ से इसके साथ टकरा के डिफ्रैक्ट हो जाएगी। जस्ट लाइक दैट ये दूसरी रे आई और ये इस एटम के साथ टकराई और यहाँ से ये डिफ्रैक्ट हो जाएगी। ये आपके पास एक जो है वो ट्रायंगल बन जाएगा। इसी से हम ब्रैग इक्वेशन जो है वो ड्राइव करेंगे। इन दोनों लेयर्स जो एटम्स लेयर्स हैं उनके दरमियान में जो स्पेसिंग यानी कि इंटरस्पेसिंग जो है वो डी है। ये थीटा यहाँ पे एंगल है जो कि रेज आ रही हैं और ये थीटा वो है जो कि डिफ्रैक्ट हो रही हैं आपकी रेज। इज इट क्लियर? ये W, X, Y and Z दो ट्राइंगल बन रही है। Thus path difference is equal to n lambda, which is equal to Wy plus Wz, as Wy is equal to Yz. Thus n lambda is equal to 2 Wy. Now sin theta is equal to Wy divided by d, and Wy is equal to d sin theta, and Wy is d sin theta, and put the value in this equation and we get n lambda is equal to 2d sin theta. Now this equation is called or known as Bragg equation, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3 mean the fraction order, lambda wavelength of X-rays incident on crystal, d distance between atomic planes, theta angle at which interference occurs. Now a little more on crystal planes. Crystal plane is an important concept used in powder diffraction and crystallography in general. One can imagine a crystal being subdivided into smaller component units. Crystallographers use, depending on context, two alternative subdivisions. One is the unit cell, the crystal building block, which we will return to later, and the other components are set of planes, invariably known as diffracting planes, reflecting planes, Bragg planes. Crystal planes are HKL planes. A set of such planes consists of parallel, evenly spaced planes which are extended to exactly fill the entire crystal. Each plane is an equal distance d, the interplanar spacing from its neighboring plane. There are, however, an infinity number of such type of planes that can be devised, and between them all they cover every region of space, and indeed every atom within the crystal. This is one of the properties that makes their concept useful. It is necessary to have some method of identifying and visualizing the most useful planes. Crystallographers use an identification system referred to as Miller or HKL indices, a sort of zip code for the planes. Miller indices are simply a set of three numbers HKL, which can take on any combination of three integer values between plus infinity and negative infinity. For example, 1, 1, 1 or minus 501 and 7 -2 -2. Each combination of HKl describes a unique set of planes filling the crystal, and so HKl is often presented as a subscript to a property. For example, DHKl, here DHKl represented as subscript, which therefore means the d spacing between the planes defined by HKl. The Miller indices HKl also provide a useful means for visualizing the planes. The convention is that if you have three axes x, y, z with 3 unit spacing A, B, C on each, then one of these HKL planes can be visualized as the plane which intersect the XYZ axis at distances of A over H, B over H, K, C over L respectively. The next such plane parallel to this would pass through the region. The illustration below shows an example of such a set of planes for the case of HKL 2 2 2. स्टूडेंट ये इसकी डिटेल जो है, these are the Miller indices, तो इनकी डिटेल जो है आप प्रीवियस चैप्टर जो है उसमें देख चुके हैं कि ये HKL जो है वो कैसे है. What is the basic of X-ray और X-ray जनरेशन? तो इसके लिए आप फॉलोइंग जो है वो वीडियो देखेंगे कि एक्सरेज आपकी किस तरह जनरेट होती हैं, और उसके बाद हम आगे इसकी डिटेल देखते हैं. जनरेशन ऑफ एक्सरेज, एक्सरेज कैसे प्रोड्यूस होती हैं, अब हम इसकी डिटेल देखते हैं. Laboratory X-ray sources can be classified into two types. First, steel tube, and second one is rotating anode. Both may be used to generate monochromatic X-ray radiation, and they basically differ only in the intensity of the radiation produced. And now, what is the white radiation? X-rays are generated when matter is irradiated by a beam of high energy charged particle such as electron. जैसे कि आपको पता है कि जो एक्सरे ट्यूब के अंदर आपके जो फिलामेंट है, टंगस्टन फिलामेंट जो है, उसको आप हाई एनर्जी प्रोवाइड करते हैं तो उसमें से इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो निकलेंगे और जो आपका एनोड मेटल है उसके ऊपर स्ट्राइक करेंगे. उसके रिजल्ट में आपकी जो है एक्स रेज जो है वो प्रोड्यूस होती हैं. क्लियर? ये जो आपका है कि कौन सी एक्सेस के बीटा अल्फा, ये हम आगे नेक्स्ट इसी लेक्चर के अंदर डिस्कस करते हैं. In the laboratory, a filament is heated to produce electrons which are then accelerated in vacuum by a high electric field in the range 20 to 60 kilowatt towards a metal target, that is anode, which being positive is called the anode. The corresponding electric current is in the range 5 to 100 milliampere. The process is extremely inefficient with 99% of the energy of the beam being dissipated as heat in the target. तो ये जो टारगेट है आपका वो हीट अप हो जाएगा. तो इसको हीट अप होने से भी हमने वो देखना है कि कैसे वो रोका जा सकता है, तो उसके लिए हमारे पास इसके अंदर वाटर जो है वो सर्कुलेट करता है। A typical X-ray spectrum from a copper target is shown below. The loss of energy of the electrons by collision with the atoms usually take place via multiple events. ये आपके पास जो है एक स्पेक्ट्रम दिखाया गया है। ये आपकी इंटेंसिटी होती है और इस साइड पे आपका वेवलेंथ है, और ये आपके पास के एल बीटा और ये के अल्फा है। ये एनर्जी है। ये नेक्स्ट जो आपका लेक्चर होगा 3, उसके अंदर मैं डिस्कस करूंगा कि ये एनर्जी आपकी क्या है और इसको कैसे हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं। The result is the production of a continuous spectrum of X-rays known as white radiation. The maximum energy loss, mean E maximum, determine the shortest wavelength that can be obtained according to the following equation. E is equal to EV is equal to Hc over lambda, where E is the charge on the electron, V is the accelerating voltage, H is the Planck's constant, and C is the speed of light. A more practical form of this equation is given by lambda is equal to 12.398 over volt, where V is in kilovolts and lambda is in angstrom. 1 angstrom is equal to 0.1 nanometer. Thus, the higher the accelerating voltage of the X-ray generator, the shorter the minimum wavelength that can be obtained. The maximum in the intensity of the white radiation occurs at a wavelength that is roughly 1.5 times lambda. Longer wavelengths are obtained by multiple collision processes. The total intensity of the white radiation is approximately proportional to the filament current, that is I, the atomic number of the anode target, and the square of the accelerating voltage. Now we will discuss characteristic radiation. When the energy of the accelerated electron is higher than a certain threshold value, which depends on the metal anode, a second type of spectrum is obtained, superimposed on top of the white radiation. It is called the characteristic radiation and is composed of discrete peaks. The energy, mean wavelength of the peaks, depends on the metal used for the target and is due to the ejection of an electron from one of the inner electron shells of the metal atom. This results in an electron from a higher atomic level dropping to the vacant level with the emission of an X-ray photon, characterized by the difference in energy between the two levels. The diagram below shows the electronic energy level for a copper atom. जी, ये एनर्जी है आपकी, ये आपका 1s, दिस इज एनर्जी, ये आपका 1s के अंदर, ये आपके L के अंदर 2s 2p, ये M है 3s 3p, और ये आपका M और ये N, ये M का 3D और ये N का 4S। सॉरी, जब आपकी एनर्जी फॉल होती है तो अगर यहाँ से K के अंदर से एक आपका इलेक्ट्रॉन निकला तो उसको फिल करने के लिए ये जो है यहाँ से जंप करके यहाँ पे आएगा, तो इसके रिजल्ट में आपके पास अल्फा रेडिएशन एमिट होंगी, और अगर वो M से यहाँ पे आएगा तो उसके रिजल्ट में आपके पास बीटा रेडिएशन जो है वो इवॉल्व होंगी। The characteristic lines in this type of spectrum are called K, L, M, and they correspond to transitions to orbitals with principal quantum numbers 1, 2, 3, and so on. When the two orbitals involved in the transition are adjacent, mean transition from 2 to 1, the line is called alpha. When the two orbitals are separated by another shell, mean transition from 3 to 1, the line is called बीटा। जैसे कि हमने पीछे डायग्राम में देखा कि अगर आपकी ट्रांजिशन एक एल से के के अंदर आ रही है तो वहां पे आपका क्या है, अल्फा, और अगर एम से के अंदर ट्रांजिशन आपकी है तो वहां पे हमने क्या कहा था कि ये के बीटा रेडिएशन जो है। Since the transition for beta is bigger than for alpha, mean एनर्जी बीटा की जो है वो अल्फा से हाई है, देन लैम्डा आपका बीटा का स्मॉलर है देन अल्फा से। दिस इज डेमोस्ट्रेटेड बाय द वैल्यूज ऑफ द के अल्फा एंड के बीटा wavelength in the table below for two common anode materials। जी, तो ये आपका एनोड कॉपर और मोलिब्डेनम है, ये आपका के अल्फा और ये के बीटा। कॉपर के केस में आपका जो के अल्फा है वो हायर है और के बीटा भी हायर है, जबकि इस केस में ये आपकी वैल्यू जो है वो कम है। इन द कॉपर एक्स-रे स्पेक्ट्रम only two characteristic lines are seen at lower energy resolution, and a bar is often used above the alpha to indicate that it is a weighted mean value. This effect is difficult to achieve in the HTML language, and so the bar has been omitted. HTML mean hypertext markup language. However, at higher resolution, the K-alpha line is readily seen to be a doublet, which is labeled as K-alpha 1 and K-alpha 2, where delta E alpha 1 higher than delta E alpha 2. The splitting of the 2p orbitals in the copper means the splitting of the energy levels L2 and L3 is very small, which is 0.020 kilo electron volt, and so the two wavelengths K alpha 1 and K alpha 2 are very similar, mean K alpha 1 is equal to 1.54056 angstrom and K alpha 2 1.54439 angstrom. You may wonder why so few transitions are shown in the figure. The allowed transitions are determined by a set of selection rules that state that an order S or D electron cannot fill the hole left by the ejected 1s electron, but that p electron can. G student. Then spectral line shape. The above picture is actually a simplified version of reality, since a high resolution analysis of the spectral lines of say copper K alpha shows that both the alpha 1 and alpha 2 peaks are distinctly asymmetric. An explanation of the origin of this asymmetry is important in understanding the so-called fundamental parameter approach to the profile fitting of Porter diffraction data peaks. The de-excitation process, in which an outer 2p electron fills the inner 1s electron shell, is fast but not fast enough to stop double ionization events. In particular, the ejection of the initial 1s electron can be followed by the loss of one of the 2s or 2p electrons from the energy levels L1, L2 or L3. The effect of the increased ionization on the atom is to change slightly the energy gap between the K and L levels, resulting in slightly different wavelength for the emitted X-ray photon. The resulting peak asymmetry in the spectral distribution of the K-alpha lines of copper is shown in red in the diagram below. This is the red line. This is for K alpha 1 and this for K alpha 2. The dotted colored line represent individual spectral contribution to the total. जी ये सिंपल सा आपका के एंड एल स्पेक्ट्रल लाइंस है जो हम पहले डिस्कस कर चुके हैं कि अगर आपके पास रेडिएशन फॉल करती हैं, इलेक्ट्रॉन फॉल करते हैं और ये आपका के जो है यहाँ से इलेक्ट्रॉन निकलता है के शेल का और इसको आपका जो है ये जो आपका एल शेल है वहां से इलेक्ट्रॉन आके फिल करेगा, तो वो के रेडिएशन आपकी होंगी और उसमें भी आपका वो के अल्फा लाइंस होंगी। और अगर आपका जो है इलेक्ट्रॉन आ जाता है उसके अंदर एम शेल से तो वो आपके पास के रेडिएशन मीन के बीटा होंगी। क्लियर हो गया। और इसी तरह आपका ये एल अल्फा है और ये एल बीटा। इज इट क्लियर? देन व्हाट के अल्फा लाइंस एल शेल ई ट्रांजिशन टू फिल अ वैकेंसी इन के शेल, most frequent transition, hence most intense peak. K beta lines मीन इन केस के अल्फा लाइंस जो है आपका वो पीक जो है वो इंटेंस होगी। के बीटा लाइंस एम शेल ई ट्रांजिशन टू फिल अ वैकेंसी इन के शेल। व्हाट इज एल अल्फा लाइंस एम शेल ई ट्रांजिशन टू फिल अ वैकेंसी इन एल शेल। L beta lines N shell E transition to fill a vacancy in L shell. Spectral intensity. In the above figure, it is readily seen that intensity of the K alpha peak is almost exactly double the intensity of the K alpha 2 peak. You might ask how this compares to the K beta radiation or even the white radiation. The intensity of a K line is given approximately by the formula Ik is equal to Ci V minus Vk power n, where I is the electron beam current, C is a constant and Vk is the excitation potential of the K lines. The exponent n is approximately 1.5 but draws toward 1.0 when V higher than 2Vk. The ratio Ik into Iy is a maximum when the accelerating voltage V is approximately 4 times the excitation potential Vk for a copper K alpha anode, where Vk is 8.0 kilovolt, run with the typical operating voltage of 40 kilovolt. The K alpha line is approximately 90 times more intense than the white radiation of a similar wavelength. Thus, the white radiation from a copper anode is too weak to be of any practical use for order diffraction in the laboratory. What about the intensity of the K beta radiation? Again, considering a copper anode, the intensity of the K alpha lines is approximately 5 times that of K beta. Hence, all instrumental setup are optimized around the K alpha radiation and preferably around K alpha 1 when high resolution monochromator are used as part of the X-ray optics. K shall knock out an emission of light photon. Visible light photons and X-ray photon are both produced by the movement of electron in atoms. Electrons occupy different energy level are orbital around an atom's nucleus. When an electron drops to a lower orbital, it needs to release some energy. It releases the extra energy in the form of a photon. The energy level of the photon depends on how far the electron drops between orbitals. How atom emits light? Here is the step 1. Step 1. A collision with a moving particle excites the atom, and this is the step 2. This causes an electron to jump to a higher energy level, and step 3. The electron falls back to its original energy level, releasing the extra energy in the form of a light photon. This is light photon. An electron in a higher orbital immediately falls to the lower energy level, releasing its extra energy in the form of a photon. It's a big drop, so the photon has a higher energy level. It is an X-ray photon. The free electron collides with the tungsten atom, knocking an electron out of a lower orbital. A higher orbital electron fills the empty position, releasing its excess energy as a photon. ये क्लियर डायग्राम कि ये आपका जो आई यहाँ से ये जो इलेक्ट्रॉन निकला ये इसको फिल करेगा तो ये आपका जो है वो एक फोटोन की फॉर्म में रिलीज हो रहा है। फर्दर इसको ये देखें कि के अल्फा 1 के अल्फा 2 एंड के बीटा 1 क्या है। जैसे हमने पहले डिस्कस किया है कि आपका के के अंदर से अगर एक इलेक्ट्रॉन आपका इजेक्ट होता है निकलता है और उसको फिल करने के लिए अगर आपके पास एल के अंदर से एक इलेक्ट्रॉन आएगा तो इसको फिल करेगा तो उसके रिजल्ट में आपके पास के अल्फा रेडिएशन जो है वो इमिट होंगे। और इसी तरह अगर आपका उसमें आ जाता है एल से अगर एम से आ जाता है तो उसके रिजल्ट में आपके पास बीटा रेडिएशन जो है वो इमिट होती हैं। जी स्टूडेंट, एनी क्वेश्चन? कोई भी क्वेश्चन आपका हो तो आप मुझे जो है वो कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं मेरे ईमेल आईडी के ऊपर। कोई भी आपका इस लेक्चर से रेलेवेंट क्वेश्चन है तो। जी स्टूडेंट, थैंक यू सो मच। अल्लाह हाफिज।